Today on the National Rundown, updates on the Bill Cosby trial, a father is convicted for killing his child, and a group of women are kicked off a golf course.
I love gardening, I love saving money.
Welcome to the National Rundown. I'm Victoria Todorova.
And I'm Chris Devine. Early Tuesday evening, the Sacramento suburb called Citrus Heights, ex-cop Joseph James DeAngelo was taken into custody. DeAngelo is believed to be the infamous Golden State Killer that is said to have murdered 12 people and committed over 50 rapes throughout California. Detectives matched a discarded DNA sample from his home that matched that of the Golden State Killer. DeAngelo could face charges of capital murder and is currently being held without bail in Sacramento.
Now here's an interesting report on gardening inmates.
I love gardening, I love saving money. This is going to be great.
It's not often you see people gardening in jumpsuits that say county jail across them, but in Shiawassee County, this is the new normal. Sheriff Brian Bagol says he just happened to stumble upon the idea.
I heard that Charlevoix County was doing a garden, had offset their cost dramatically. And so I thought, well, this is a farming community. I thought that the community would stand behind something like this, and they certainly did.
Thanks to multiple donations and a handful of volunteers, the Shiawassee County Jail now has its first inmate garden. More than a dozen minimum security prisoners use their work release center to grow vegetables. Garden manager Daniel McMaster says everything grown here will be used inside the jail.
And come out and pick it and clean it and wash it, and there we go. Just be on the table for lunch.
McMaster says the garden is also a way for the inmates to give back to society while they're serving time.
The inmate garden isn't only good for the people working at it, but eventually it will help with the jail food budget in the long run.
Sheriff Bagol says every year the jail spends almost $50,000 on vegetables alone. That's now an expense of the past.
We anticipate that we're going to offset the costs of feeding the inmates up to 1/3. If we could reduce it by $15,000 this first year, we think that's a complete success.
And even a bigger success, Sheriff Bagol says if the inmates use what they learn here to find jobs outside of the jail, of course, without the jumpsuits. Reporting in Shiawassee County, Cody Kaczynski, WNEM TV5.
Travis Plummer from Jersey City is convicted for murder and child neglect after his daughter's remains were found in a suitcase of a railroad tracks. Plummer has been charged with child neglect in the past when his 8-month-old son was found dead after drowning in a bathtub. Plummer went to jail for 1 year. Plummer's fate is still in discussion. However, it is not looking too good.
Now here's Jeff with this week's sports.
Thanks, guys. The Philadelphia 76ers have already punched their ticket into the second round of the NBA playoffs. Led by young talent and excellent shooting from beyond the arc, the Sixers are poised to make a deep playoff run and hope to continue to surprise the entire league. Last night, the Phillies defeated the Arizona Diamondbacks at home by a score of 5-3. Aaron Altaire's 3-run bomb in the 6th inning was the turning point for the Phils. Jake Arrieta improves to 3-0 on the season. The Phillies will take on the D-backs again Thursday. Last night, the Boston Bruins defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs 7-4 in a decisive Game 7. The Bruins flipped the switch in the third period and scored 3 goals, which ultimately was the difference. The Bruins will take on the top-seeded Tampa Bay Lightning, who defeated the New Jersey Devils in 5 games. The second round of the NHL playoff kickoff tonight as the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champs take on their longtime rival, the Washington Capitals. Puck drop is at 7 o'clock. That's a look at sports. I'm Jeff DiMartino. Back to you guys in the studio.
And coming up next, we take a look at a New York doctor who has come under federal indictment after the deaths of his patients.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, But it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Bill Cosby is found guilty on 3 counts of felony aggravated incident assault. Cosby is facing up to 10 years in prison and a $25,000 fine on each of his 3 counts. The former TV star was found guilty on violating Andrea Constance back in 2004. The verdict was read around 30 this afternoon. The jury took close to 14 hours to deliberate and find the verdict.
Now let's send it over to Leon with a look at some entertainment news.
Thanks, guys. Avengers Infinity War premieres in theaters tonight and will be out worldwide tomorrow. With a highly anticipated film comes potential box office records. According to a Forbes.com contributor, Scott Mendelson, he thinks Iron Man, Thor, and Black Panther, along with other Avengers, can crush the records of biggest opening day, biggest opening weekend, and worldwide debut weekend. Good Morning America news anchor Amy Robach moves to co-host 2020 alongside David Muir. She is filling a seat vacated by Elizabeth Vargas, who is leaving 2020 for A&E Investigates. Robach will still report on major news stories for GMA. Rapper Kanye West goes on a Twitter rant, criticizes Obama and praises Trump. West tweeted, quote, "You don't have to agree with Trump, but the mob can't make me not love him. We are both dragon energy. He is my brother. I love everyone. I don't agree with everything anyone does. That's what makes us individuals. And we have the right to independent thought." After that, West tweeted a photo with him wearing a Make America Great Again hat. Then later, he tweeted, quote, "Obama was in office for 8 years and did nothing in Chicago. And nothing in Chicago changed." That's it for entertainment for the last and final time before moving to Eureka, California to start my big boy job. Back to you guys at the desk.
Now let's send it over to Sherry with an update on what is happening around the world.
Thanks, guys. Danish inventor Peter Madsen is sentenced to life in prison for the murder of Swedish journalist Kim Wall. 30-year-old Wall was last seen going on a submarine trip with Madsen on August 10, 2017, after accepting an invitation to go sailing with him as part of her journalistic work. Wall's dismembered body was found later that month off the coast of Copenhagen. Plastic bags filled with other body parts were also found floating in the ocean in October. Madsen denied all allegations against him, saying that Wall accidentally died inside the submarine. He later confessed to cutting up her body and throwing the body parts into the sea. However, before confessing, he provided several different stories. One story claimed that he had dropped her off at the shore and hadn't seen her since. He also said that she died when she was hit on the head by the submarine's hatch. These different testimonies made Copenhagen City Court Judge Annette Burko and her 2 jurors view Madsen as an untrustworthy defendant, and led them to believe that it was a cynical and planned sexual assault and murder. Madsen's lawyer says that he plans to appeal, but will remain behind bars during that process. That's it for your World News Minute. Back to you guys at the desk.
A 3rd federal judge issues the strongest order yet in support of DACA. The order declares that the administration has 90 days to prepare better reasons to get rid of DACA, or it will be reinstated in its entirety. U.S. District Judge John Bates, who issued the order, spoke against Trump administration attempts to end the program, calling them unlawful and arbitrary. It is not yet clear whether the Justice Department can appeal the ruling.
Rapper Meek Mill has been released from prison and is using this as motivation to work towards freeing those who are in prison unjustly. Mill, who was born Robert Rameek Williams, was sentenced for 2 to 4 years for probation violation back in November. His sentence brought attention to the evidence supporting that African Americans are incarcerated 6 times more than the rate of whites. Mill will not be completely free until a hearing in June decides whether his charges are dropped or a new trial will be ordered. Dr. Eugene Gossi, a neurologist from New York, is under federal indictment after the deaths of 6 of his patients due to opioid overdose. He has been offered a job at a new clinic, and while he is out on bail, he must be supervised by other doctors. They will oversee Dr. Gossi as he performs his treatments. He has not been found guilty on these charges yet, but the investigation is still ongoing.
A police officer in Maine is shot and killed. It happened early this morning. The suspect is 29-year-old John Williams, who allegedly shot and killed Officer Eugene Cole, then stole his cruiser and robbed a convenience store. Williams was previously arrested in Massachusetts on March 22nd on firearms violation. Williams is still at large and police are continuing their search. Cole has been a member of the sheriff's office for the past 13 years.
And a prisoner in Texas who was on death row was given a lethal injection this morning. 10 years after committing a gruesome gang-related murder, 31-year-old Eric Davila was sentenced to death row after killing a 5-year-old and her grandmother at a child's birthday party back in 2008.
A shooting occurred at a Nashville area Waffle House on Sunday, and today they are reopening the restaurant and commemorating the victims. The restaurant is pledging to donate all its proceeds to the next month's families affected by the tragedy.
And now here's Matt with some information on Josh Allen's recent tweets.
How's it going, guys?
And hey, Matt, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
So, Matt, a lot of stuff, really, a lot of breaking news dropped today with Josh Allen, a couple tweets that came out. What's going on with him and these tweets that were released?
Well, there's a belief that an NFL team has leaked racist tweets by the quarterback in 2012 and 2013.
So what did he tweet?
Well, he wrote, "If it ain't white, it ain't right," and he also deleted several tweets that from his high school days that include the N-word.
Now, you mentioned that an NFL team supposedly released this information. Why would an NFL team do that right on draft day?
Well, he's considered one of the top prospects in the draft right now, so there's a theory that an NFL team has leaked this so he could drop to them and they could obviously draft him later in the draft.
So has he apologized or anything?
Yeah, he apologized last night for the tweets when asked by ESPN Stephen A. Smith, and he just said he was young and dumb.
Interesting. We're going to see maybe if he does fall tonight. You always got to watch in the middle is those pesky Dallas Cowboys that you watch.
Should be interesting.
Thanks, Matt.
No problem.
Thank you.
Linda Everett, who was charged with breaking and entering at a North Carolina hospital, speaks out about her case. According to Everett, she was in the restricted area giving out First Baby Bibles to newborns. Everett said in a quote, "All I was doing was giving a gift, and to me that is no crime." Officers' first thought was child abduction, but that has appeared to not be true. Her court date is scheduled for next month in New Hanover County.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Now Lance is going to give us his opinion on the teacher walkouts happening in Arizona.
Tomorrow, about 50,000 teachers in Arizona will stand up for themselves and stage a walkout. Elizabeth Millich, a second-grade teacher at a school in Phoenix, posted a picture of her pay stub on Facebook, which indicated that as an educator, she took home merely $320 a week and paid for classroom equipment, snacks, and rugs for her students out of her own paychecks. Millich's post went viral and outpours of support were sent her way. The teacher said, quote, "Why would you want to not provide our kids with the best education possible?" Arizona Republican Governor Doug Ducey promised to bump teacher pay by 20% by 2021. In my opinion, teachers need to have substantial pay rather than minimal. They're there to teach our children how to be successful, how to carry and maintain the future of the planet, and to take care of themselves. In my opinion, this world would not spin at all without educators, whether second-grade teachers or graduate professors. Regardless of political party, in my opinion, every state governor needs to make sure educators are being paid comfortably and appropriately. That's my opinion. Back to you at the desk.
Coming up next after the break, Akenda is going to tell us if summer weather is finally on the way.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new. Hello, is anyone there?
Wow, even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened? Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
5 Pennsylvania women enjoying a game of golf had the police called on them after reportedly playing too slow. Although the women say they were playing slower because they were rusty, they believe the complaint was placed as a result of discrimination against women and minorities. Eventually, the women left on their own and no charges were filed.
And now here's Akenda with this week's weather report. Sounds like we are finally going to get some warm days coming up ahead.
Hi, my name is Akenda Stewart, and I will be telling you guys the forecast for tonight and the week to come. Tonight we have it at 66 degrees, where will be a lot of sun we had earlier today, but it will be coming down in the low 50s later on tonight. And for our 5-day forecast, Friday we have a high of 57 and a low of 48 with a chance of some rain. Now Saturday, Sunday, and Monday we will be expecting a lot of sun, 69 high and 43 low for Saturday. And for Sunday, 53 high and 39 low. As for Monday, a 65 high, 45 low. But as for Tuesday, that's going to be 73 high and 43 low, so you guys can enjoy the weather over the weekend and expect to see a lot of sun next week. My name's Akenda Stewart. That's your 5-day forecast. No? Hi, how are you? I'm Akenda Stewart with the forecast of this week. As you can see, we have some warm weather here. They're getting ready for a baseball game. And here they're actually preparing in the field, watering the field here. And we got some clear weathers and some sunflowers and a beautiful tree. How about that? Are you guys ready for the weather?
Oh yeah, especially with warm temperatures, sun, and baseball.
Okay.
Nothing goes better with that combination.
Yeah, right. I'm all ready for it. Time to bring out the light jackets, right?
Yep.
Wow,
Yeah.
No, just stick with the t-shirts.
No, you don't want to
The
get
shorts are going to be
sick.
coming out soon. Come on.
Come on, the flu is still out. And allergy season.
Just keep up on the probiotics.
And watch out for the rain coming up this week, guys.
Oh, you didn't mention that.
Really?
Okay.
It was
Thank you,
pre-taped,
Akenda.
all right?
Thank you, Akenda.
That's it for the National Rundown. I'm Victoria Todorova.
And I'm Chris Devine. Thank you for a great semester and have a great night.
I'm a genius!